I'm going to be showing you how to do the Voltron Cameo quest within Funko Fusion, and for this one we need to play the 4th level of Battlestar Galactica, Ovian and Out. Let's get started. Okay, so for this one you pretty much have to play the entirety of this level. So at the end of the level, after you rescue all 4 of the hostages, you're going to get the fun key. And once you have the fun key, you're going to be able to open up this door over here on the right side. We're going to open that up, unlock it, and before you actually grab the crown to end the level, if you look over here to the left, there is the purple Cameo Quest chest giving us the purple Cameo Quest key card. And so now that we have the key card, we can take it back into the main area of the level. Pretty tricky there with how they put it at the very end after you get the fun key, but now that we have this key card, we can take it up here to the 2nd floor, and there's going to be a little key card terminal that we can swipe it on. That's going to open up this door, giving us access to the Voltron Legendary Defender room, and there's Voltron right there, shooting a laser into that interdimensional rift, I guess is what you could call that. But basically, the whole concept behind this Cameo quest is we have to find these Trans-Reality Comets in each of the levels. So we're going to have to do this 6 more times after we do this one. So I'm going to be showing you the locations of all those. So this first one is going to be in this room where you had to walk up the steps. It's going to be over here in the back left corner. So we're going to pick up the comet. It's going to shrink quite a bit when you actually pick it up. It's going to be huge in the level, but when you pick it up, it shrinks down to like 10% of the size. We're going to place it right there, and once you do that, you're pretty much done. All you have to do is clear out the nearby enemies, and once you do that, you'll be able to talk to Voltron, and he's going to pick up the comet, and we're going to clear out some more enemies there. And he's going to say, your alliance was appreciated, so should we need you again, would you be willing to join us? Find us in other worlds, for Lotor won't sleep, blah, 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 whatever he says. But there we go. He's going to drop the red weapon protopart piece, so we're going to pick that up and take it over to the nearest red mold machine, which unfortunately there's not really one anywhere nearby. And there it is. So we'll go ahead and deposit that, and that is the Lion Lance protopart. The second level that we're going to do is Hot Fuzz Level 2, Rumble in the Ruin. Now, when it comes to these Cameo quests, you can do the rest of these in any order that you want. Only the first one has to be done first. So the Ovian and Out one, we have to find Voltron in that level first. Then he'll appear in all the rest of these 6 levels that I'm about to show you. But the second one we're doing is Hot Fuzz Level 2, Rumble in the Ruin. So from the start of this level, just follow the path that I did here, and there's going to be some like bricks or whatever that's supposed to be. But when you destroy it, it's going to reveal a blink pad on the ground. So you know what to do with a blink pad. You have to switch over to the number 5 character from the Umbrella Academy. So we're going to switch over to him. I believe he's the only character in the game that can blink, at least that I know of. So we're going to blink through that wall, and there is Voltron with another interdimensional rift, or Lotor rift, I guess is what he calls it. I'm not familiar with Voltron, by the way, but anyway, once we talk to him, we're going to open up this gate, which is going to allow us access back to Voltron without actually blinking through the wall. And we just have to find the next comet. So from the gate, just make a left as you're exiting from Voltron's area, and just keep following the path, cross over the creek area, and there is going to be the comet. So we're going to pick that up. It's going to shrink down, and we just have to carry it back to Voltron. There will be some Voltron enemies attacking you, so just kind of ignore them for now. And we're going to deposit it right there. And there's a bunch of enemies in this level, way more than I had in the first Battlestar level for whatever reason. But once we clear them out, we can go ahead and talk to Voltron. He's going to say it's not over, there may be more rifts. And so he's going to jump into the rift, and we'll be able to pick up the red weapon protopart and deposit it into the nearby red mold machine. Alright, moving on to the next level. This is going to be Jurassic World Level 2, Raptor Rescue. So from the start of this level, we're going to head out from the spawn, make a left, and just follow this left pathway. This is one of the larger levels in the game, so it can be a little tricky to find. And then once we follow the left pathway, just keep hanging left until you go down this cliff. But first, we're going to go ahead and mold ourselves a bounce pad, because Voltron's going to be found up kind of on a high ledge that you need a bounce pad to reach. So we're going to go ahead and craft that, and we're going to carry it all the way down here. And kind of in the back left corner here of the map, it's pretty tricky to find. There is Voltron up here on this ledge, so we're going to put the bounce pad down, jump up here, and now we have access to him. Go ahead and talk to him to initiate the Cameo quest. He's going to tell you to find the comet. So where is that comet located? Well, if you just backtrack a little bit where we came from, you're going to want to go to the waterfall area, and on the other side of the waterfall is going to be where the comet is. There it is, you can already see it. It's kind of up on a high ledge. I'm not sure if they intended you to use a bounce pad here, but I was able to kind of roll my way up there, use the dodge move to make my way up the high ledge. But now that we have the comet, we just have to take it all the way back over to Voltron. And we still have access to him because our bounce pad should still be there, and we can just use that to hop right up over to him. So we're going to jump up here, deposit that in. And this time you can see I don't have nearly as many enemies as we had in the previous level, so it's kind of random, it seems like, how many Voltron enemies come and attack you. But once we clear all those out, I only have to take out one, I think. You can talk to him. He's going to jump into the rift. So he's going to drop the next red weapon proto part, so we can just go ahead and pick that up. And unfortunately, I don't know where the nearest red mold machine is, but I couldn't find one nearby, so I ended up taking it all the way back to the spawn area. I think there might have been one in that cage over there, so I probably took it a little bit too far, but whatever. As long as you get it to a red mold machine, you'll be fine, and we'll go ahead and deposit that right there. Alright, now we're moving on to the next one. This is going to be in the Thing level 4, which is called Head Hunted. I found this one to be the hardest one of the bunch, just because I got pretty much enemy spammed quite a bit, where there was just a bunch of Voltron enemies attacking me, whereas in the Jurassic World level I only had like 1 or 2. So anyway, we're going to head outside here, and we're going to make our way over here to the right side. I have noticed they added a bunch of additional flares that weren't there at the launch of this game, so I guess after one of the updates they added some more flares to make this a little bit easier. We're going to jump up here. You might have to shoot that barrel to create some more heat, because you can't wander out into the snow without a flare nearby. And so we're going to talk to him, initiate the quest, and then we're going to head all the way over here. We're going to stay outside. You never need to go inside for this quest. And over here, there's going to be a blue mold machine out in the open. And there's going to be a gas canister sitting out in the open too. So you can kind of dodge roll over into the light if you kind of pre-shoot the gas canister. And right now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and throw another gas canister out into the darkness, because we're right here next to the Trans-Reality Comet, but it can be difficult to carry in the darkness. So we're going to craft a couple of gas canisters just to make things as easy as possible, create as much light as possible, so that when we're carrying the Comet it doesn't try to like stop us, because if you carry it in the darkness it will kind of cause you to drop it. And look at this, I'm just getting hit left and right by all these enemies. It's crazy how many more enemies this level had compared to the previous ones that I did. But anyway, we're going to pick up the Comet and just carry it all the way over to Voltron. And you might need a bounce pad to actually jump up to him, but I was able to kind of cheese it by doing a little roll move to get up here onto this ledge. But if you have trouble with that, you can always craft a bounce pad to jump up with the Trans-Reality Comet. And once we do that, we're going to clear out all the enemies. Again, we have like 20 enemies attacking us at the end. It's crazy. This level had like 3 times the amount of enemies as all the other ones. But anyway, look at that, I actually died there during the cutscene. But anyway, he's going to drop the next red weapon proto part. We're going to pick this up and carry it over here to the nearest red mold machine. Once again, I couldn't really find one nearby, so I just took it back to the spawn room. But it all works all the same. Alright, next up we're going to do the Invincible Cameo level. This Cameo level is found in the Umbrella Academy levels, so just keep that in mind once you have it unlocked. This is a pretty easy one, so from the start of this level, we're just going to head outside and make a right, and just keep following the right pathway until you reach the end of the level. And in this last shop here is going to be where Voltron is found. He's going to be lasering into the rift, and so we're going to clear out the enemies, start talking to him, and he's going to want us to find the next Trans-Reality Comet. And this one can be a little tricky to find, so we're just going to head to the exact opposite side of the level. So once we head all the way over here, we're going to have to head into a back alleyway. It's going to be the last alleyway here, over here on the right side. And there it is, kind of sitting in the corner. Clear out these enemies first. And we're going to pick up the Comet. It's a very kind of tricky hiding spot there, because you can't really see it from a distance unless you go back in that alley. But now that we have the Comet, we're just going to carry this all the way back over to Voltron. There's going to be a bunch of Voltron enemies attacking us. And here we are. Go ahead and put down the Comet. And then we can go ahead and talk to him. He's going to tell you to take out all the nearby enemies if you haven't done so already. I was trying to do it before I took out the enemies, but no, Voltron doesn't let you do it. You got to take out all of the Voltron enemies first. And now that we did that, we can go ahead and talk to him. He's going to say your alliance was appreciated. You're going to jump into the rift, and then we're going to be able to pick up the next red weapon proto part. And luckily there is a red mold machine nearby, so we'll go ahead and deposit that in it. Alright, second to last, we're going to do Masters of the Universe Level 3, Snake Mountain Outing. And this is probably the second hardest one to do. Well, it's probably the hardest to actually get the Comet to Voltron, but it's not as bad in terms of enemy spam as the Thing level, at least in my experience. But we're going to hop down here into this kind of lava volcanic area here under the mountain. And there is going to be Voltron sitting right there, and he's going to tell us to go ahead and grab the Comet. Now, unfortunately, they put the Comet in the most annoying location possible, but I'm going to show you exactly how to get to it. So, For this one, we are going to have to mold a portal. And this portal stuff that I'm about to do here is just the normal portal stuff that you do during the normal story progression of the level. So we're going to have to shoot these purple crystals to turn on these other portals that we can then link up our portal to. And once we've linked up to this middle one, I'm going to go ahead and get the next portal set up by shooting that purple crystal. We're going to be using that one later. But once we have the middle portal set up there on that middle platform, we're going to mold a amp, and we're also going to have to play as a character that can use amps. So I'm using Gideon Graves, but you could also use Scott Pilgrim or Marty McFly, pretty much anybody with a guitar. And so we're going to carry the amp all the way down here, and there's going to be a spot where you can put down the amp. I found better luck just putting it over here on the left side. If you put it in the red zone where it wants you to, I always had trouble getting it to work, but we're going to be able to hover across over here to this little island, and there is where the Trans-Reality Comet is. Now, how do you actually get the comet back in the main area of the level off this island? Well, we're going to mold another portal and link it up to our first portal that we molded. And so now we can pick up the Trans-Reality Comet and get back into the main area of the level. Now, how do we get this comet over to Voltron? Well, you're not going to be able to jump over those little gaps where Voltron is, because you just can't jump as high while you're carrying the comet. So we're going to go ahead and use the portal to teleport ourselves up here by this green mold machine, which you have to do anyway for the normal story progression of the level, and just hop down onto these platforms, and you should just barely be able to make the jumps. At least I was able to here with Gideon Graves. And we'll go ahead and give Voltron the comet, take it down all of the remaining enemies, which in my case there was only like one. And we'll go ahead and talk to him, and he's going to give us the red weapon protopart. Now, even getting the red weapon protopart can be a little tricky, but I was able to do it without any portals. If you have trouble, you might have to use a portal to kind of teleport yourself over these little gaps. But if you're careful here, with Gideon Graves here, it took me a couple tries. I fell into the lava a little bit. But if you're careful, you should be able to make all these jumps and get yourself back to the spawn area, which I think the spawn area is going to be the closest area that has red mold machine, or a red mold machine, I should say. And there it is. We'll go ahead and put that in and get the next red weapon protopart. And last but not least, we have Scott Pilgrim versus the World, level 1, Irate Pirate. And for this one, you're pretty much going to have to play through the entire level as well. So defeat the boss, and when you defeat the boss, he's going to give you this little fun coin. Put that in the slot. It's going to open up this door, giving you access to the outside area. And as soon as you get outside, if you just make a left, there is going to be Voltron that's sitting out in the open. So it's probably the easiest one to find him in, I'd say. And where is the Trans-Reality Comet? Well, it's going to be up there on that ledge, which is kind of a semi-annoying spot to place it. But there's already going to be an amp here set up during the story progression. So to shoot that with a character that can interact with amps, I'm using Ed here from Shaun of the Dead. And once we have the Trans-Reality Comet, we can put it in place, then take out all of the different enemies. For this one, I had a couple different enemies I had to take out, so it wasn't quite as easy as some of the other levels that I did. And we're going to talk to him. He's going to say all the rifts have been closed. He's going to give you the final red weapon protopart, so we can go ahead and deposit that into the nearest red mold machine, which in this case I just took it back to the spawn room, which seems to be typically what I do. And once you do that, you'll unlock the Lion Lance weapon. Now, back in the main hub world on the Battlestar Galactica floor, this door will now be open, and you're going to be able to play as Voltron, Legendary Defender. There he is. I'd say he's definitely the biggest Funko Pop character in the game. He's got the laser ability. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it here for the Voltron Cameo quest. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Dislike if not. Subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you guys next time here on Quick Break Games.